Buying a business is a ton of fun and you're not going to be bored. Hi, my name is Barrett Young. I'm a CPA and partner at GWCPA's. And today I'm going to talk about overcoming the 3 main objections to buying a business rather than starting one. I ran my own company. I started my own company from scratch, ran that for about 5 to 6 years. And then in 2017, I joined up with a mentor of mine here at GWCPA's, closed my company and joined up with about 15 team members. In 2012, when I started my company, some of the objections that I had to buying into a CPA firm, I want to talk about those now. There are 3 main objections that I saw. And the first one is the cash out of pocket. Whatever the seller values their company at, it's probably more than you have. So you're going to have to borrow, you're going to have to find a way to finance that. The seller of that company wants to get value out of the company that they've built. They don't want it to just have provided an income up to this point. They want to see it continue to provide an income to them for the value that they've built into that company. So cash out of pocket is definitely a concern. One of the things that we don't think about often is starting a company, how many years it's going to take to get cash flow out of that company. Some, you might have cash flow right away. A lot of people like to build a business on the side until the cash flow can replace their main income, and then they'll go full time. Some of us are in professional services where we might have non-competes or we might have something preventing us from doing that. There is a large cash flow need to starting a business. A lot of CPAs that I know, myself included, would have to work part-time in order to start a business from scratch. We're going to find a job somewhere else that's going to supplement our income, or we're going to be relying on a spouse for income, or we're going to be drawing out of retirement. Starting a business has a cash need as well. It's just a lot more apparent when you are buying a business and you see what that price tag is. To deal with this is work on the valuation of the business. Know why the business is being valued the way it is. Ask questions. You want transparency from the seller. You want to really dig into the details to find out if the company is being overvalued or undervalued. You want to come to an agreeable sale for both parties. And the other benefit that you have from buying a business is that you can have cash flow from the business, fund the buyout of that business. So depending on the arrangement that you have with the seller, it might not necessarily need to be cash upfront. You could do a 2 or a 3-year buyout based on earnings. There are a lot of different ways that you can structure this so that the cash doesn't become the deal breaker here. The second main objection, and this one is a big one, is not knowing what you're getting into. When you start a business from scratch, you get to determine what the processes are. You get to determine who the clients are. You get to make all those decisions. And so you know what you're getting into because you're the one that decided it. One thing that founders don't realize until they're into it is as soon as you bring in a second client, you have a legacy client. So when you are starting a business, when you are changing things on a regular basis, trying to find out what works, you have people who are already entrenched in the way that you did things 2 months ago, 3 months ago, even 2 weeks ago. Before you realize it, you have clients that are going to be resistant to changes. You can always replace those clients. Let's not pretend that there isn't going to be that resistance, that hesitancy. Yes, there are those risks when you buy into a business. Who are the clients that are going to scream the loudest? Who are the team members who are going to be the most resistant to change? There are all of these different components. But those components quickly exist in a new business that you're founding as well. There are legal issues. Who is out there in the past that's going to come and demand that you take care of them because your predecessor took care of them in the past? So there are ways to go around this, to get around this by buying in assets versus buying stock, different ways that your legal team might recommend to shore up some of those things. But certainly you don't know what issues the team members have that you're going to have to deal with, the clients that you have that you're going to have to deal with. And so again, transparency is going to be the key to this. And the last one. This one was probably the reason that kept me from doing it. Buying a business is not as sexy as adding founder to the end of your name. We love to tell people that we're entrepreneurs. We love to tell people that we started something from scratch. We love that title founder, even more than I might have loved that title CPA. There's just in our culture today, there's just this coolness, this sexiness that comes from telling people I'm an entrepreneur. I started something from nothing. I was young when I started my company and I definitely bought into that. Let me tell you what some of the benefits that I have from buying a company, how I get around that. So number one, I have an immediate impact on people's lives. What I didn't realize when I founded my company is I spent a lot of time in the trenches doing the work rather than improving the company, building out the processes, hiring, inspiring people. When I only had a handful of clients, there really wasn't all that much to be aspirational about. It was just need to work on these clients. And this is why I joined up with my partner, Sam. She has strengths that I don't have, and I have strengths that she didn't have. And so there were complementary roles there. I stepped into a process that already had cash flow, that already had projects going out the door, that already had systems in place for some of the things that I didn't necessarily want to have to figure out. When you found the company, you're responsible for solving every problem and coming up with a system, even the ones that aren't fun for you. Stepping into an already existing business that has processes, has a lot of those things solved that I don't necessarily like to do, does free you up to be able to be quicker, to be able to more quickly do the work that you love to do, whatever your strengths are, the things that interest you. There's cash flow, there's HR, there's a team that can train other team members. All of those things can solve some of the problems that you don't necessarily want to do so that you can focus on the work that you enjoy doing. Those are 3 objections that I had as a young 28-year-old when I started my first company. And I just want to let you know, buying a business is a ton of fun and you're not going to be bored. And there are ways to get around some of the unknowns and the cash flow things that might be standing in your way or making you hesitate to buy a business. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it. Go ahead and subscribe to our channel. We are focused on multi-generational businesses. I'm going to be doing a lot of videos adding to this kind of content about buying versus selling and about success stories. I do think that you will have, if you do your acquisition correctly, you can position yourself to be in a great situation, building on a foundation that already exists to do really cool things in the future. So thanks for watching. I'll talk to you later.